superior to Ruby's map share. And that's a great play by Flash, just by forcing the issue, and he's choosing where the line is drawn. And anytime you get to choose your battle lines, anytime you get to choose anytime you get to establish the rules in warfare, you're usually going to come out ahead for it. It usually is an advantageous position for you, and if it's not an advantageous position for you, you probably screwed up somewhere along the way. A couple vultures for Ruby, getting a run by here, but there are a lot of tanks back for Flash. Not killing any of the vultures. Wow. All of the vultures, both vultures take a lot of damage, but none of them actually go down. So both vultures actually get into the base, see they get another scat off, probably killed one, maybe two SCVs tops. Nothing too significant. And it looks like, yeah, Ruby is actually throwing down a spider mine in where Flash's third base would go, but I think a SCV actually killed it. That's just hilarious. I think an SCV just killed a spider mine. That's awesome. Looks like Ruby's getting his control tower down as well, so he'll be able to get some dropships out here pretty quickly. Also looks like he has either his third base or his third base is up and running right now. SCV transfer going down. So a little bit of advantage right now economically for Ruby, especially in the next as soon as that he gets the money flow from that third base, from that earlier third base. He'll have a little window of advantage. We see armory spinning as well for Ruby, gonna get those upgrades up. I don't think Flash gets that armory up for those Goliaths and things early on, but he usually doesn't get heavy upgrades. Like, it's not like his upgrades don't come particularly early in his TVT most of the time when I see it. He does love his upgrades. It is Flash, so I mean he will get them often, but I don't think it's like he got that armory up a long time ago. I don't think he started +1 like immediately off the bat. He usually doesn't. So I think I don't think either player is going to be ahead or really behind on their upgrades. Flash does have his third base almost up and running. It looks like Ruby's also mining up where Flash will go for his fourth and fifth, just trying to be a little bit of a nuisance here, going to try and make it difficult for Flash to expand again. It does look like we're going to have a dropship out, maybe going to see a little 3 vulture drop here, 4 vultures going to be dropped into the main of Flash, and I don't think Flash really has anything. He's got a couple siege tanks in there, but vultures, as you know, with mines, can place a couple spider mines down on each of them and take them down very, very quickly. Oh, a couple reinforcing tanks coming in there, and those reinforcing tanks are going to make it difficult for Ruby to really get an effective drop here. But he's going to drop the 4 vultures, going to place some mines around the factory. He's going to be a little bit more of a nuisance. Just going to try and make it difficult for Flash, maybe catch a tank or something like that. These vultures are going into the natural, might be able to pick off an SCV or 2, picks off, looks like they've got 2 SCVs maybe. Something like that, about 2 SCVs there killed off. If those mines do some damage, it will be an effective drop. If they don't, not really much of an effective drop. About all the important information he got is the number of factories for Flash, and as important as that is, he could have easily have gotten that from just a simple scan. So not a huge telling blow there in terms of that drop going down. Ruby is throwing up a couple of factories of his own. I think that'll be 5 factories for him as well. Flash starting to get some turrets up, knows that he's behind in terms of the dropship play. Ruby should probably have a second dropship out right now, I would guess, or at least building right now, starting building that dropship fleet. Science facility coming up for Flash at a forward position, so he'll be able to use that for scouting information, and he's also going to be able to start getting those higher upgrades. And it looks like oh my god, tanks can shoot across. That is hilarious. Here in the last game, I thought tanks couldn't shoot across that gap. I was apparently wrong. They can, and that's really lame. Just gonna throw that out there. That is really, really lame, and I'm surprised that Mind didn't know this. And try and do some drops there in that last game, Bisu versus Mind. I wish he had done that. You know, thrown some tanks on his edge, taken a dropship or 2, and poured some units down there, used the support fire from his tanks, and maybe gotten some damage done that way. But either he didn't know or didn't want to do that, and I think that was a little bit of a mistake. Okay, and it looks like we've only got 3 factories up right now for Flash. It looks like he's getting his 4th factory now, compared to 6 factories for Ruby. 4 dropships for Ruby. Huge dropship fleet right now. But Flash did scan it. Flash knows that this is coming. He just doesn't know where the dropships are going. Looks like the dropships are going to be used to clear out some of these tanks here at the upper end of the contain. And all those tanks are going to go down. Ruby's going to be able to clear this out, and I'm going to be able to establish some map control of his own. And as long as he's macros well, I think he's got a huge advantage right now. He needs to get the science facility up. He does not want to fall behind in upgrades. He does not want Flash to get that +2 upgrade significantly ahead of him, because if he does, that is a huge advantage, and that he can start 2-shotting tanks, whereas Ruby will still be on 3-shotting, and that is a huge difference. Absolutely huge. However you want to look at it, it's either 50% or 33% of a difference, whether you subtract or add. However you choose to do it, however you choose, however your mind works. I'd say it's 50% more, but, you know. I don't actually know. I'm not a mathematician. I'm decent at math, but some of those subtleties, you know, maybe not perfect at it. Factory throwing up, or Flash throwing up a couple more factories as well. It looks like he's going to get up to 6 or 7 factories. Science facility coming up for Ruby, so we shouldn't fall too far behind in terms of his upgrade. I think Flash will get that +2 ahead of Ruby, but I don't think it'll be significant. Or at least, hopefully, it won't be too significant. 5 dropships now loaded up for Ruby. Ruby going for some heavy dropship play. I love it. And it looks like he's going to be able to clear out yet another region of Flash's troops. Oh, where's Ruby going? Oh, Ruby, I thought he could have dropped there and taken out those 5 or 6 tanks. I think he really should have. It looks like Flash actually also has 5 dropships as well, and Ruby confusing the hell out of me. I don't understand why he dropped there, of all places. I am awfully confused right now. This is very weird. Yeah, I mean, I guess he can try and establish some map control over here, but it's kind of odd that he decided to do that rather than, because his forces right there are kind of trapped now. They can't really go anywhere without being, and they're going to be easily counter-dropped as well. That's the other thing. Though there are glides there, so maybe not. But they certainly don't have a lot of mobility right now. If they go north, they're going to run into tanks. Go south, run into tanks. And if they go east, well, there's a body of water, so not much to do there either. Surprisingly enough, it looks like neither player is going to be going for a 4th base. And if you saw Flash versus Fantasy, I believe what happened is Fantasy went for like a 4th or a 5th base very early, and Flash did not. He went for 1 or 2 bases less and was able to mack up a pretty impressive force, whereas Fantasy was not and just steamrolled him. But it looks like neither player is going to make that kind of mistake here. And Flash starting to throw turrets up at random points across the map. Going to try and use these turrets to pick off random dropships. Going to try and get him a lot of good scouting information. And I hope Ruby notices this and starts sending some marauding groups of forces around and starts taking down some of these turrets. Because if those turrets are able to pick off a random dropship here, a random dropship there, it gives him the knowledge. That's a huge advantage again for Flash. These are the little things in mirror matchups that are so important. These little things, these little scouting advantages, they're absolutely huge. And it looks like here comes Ruby for a big drop, and he actually disengages. That is a huge number of dropships. 7 dropships right now for Ruby. 5 it looks like for Flash. So dropships greater for Ruby, but that means he's gonna have a lot. He's gonna have a lot more mobility with his force. It looks like he's actually gonna go for a drop on the main tank line of Flash, and it's gonna take it down. But it doesn't look like he's gonna be able to hold it here. He's gonna get counter dropped, and Flash is just gonna reestablish that zone right away. I think Ruby lost 1, maybe 2 dropships. Yeah, it looks like he's lost 2 dropships, and another dropship almost went down. Ruby's trying to take 2 more command centers right now. Flash, surprisingly enough, Flash is not. Flash is the macro god for Terran, and surprisingly enough, he's not going for another base right now. Sticking to his 3 bases right now, and the engineering bay for Ruby is burning, and he really needs to get that thing repaired. And we got another drop coming in for Flash, and yeah, he's